Oh man, Jim Crow. But I think a lot of it was basically how your parents felt about it. We knew that basically establishments, and we talk about this a lot of times, the fact that if our church had a meeting, hotels were not available, you know. So what parent people did was to open up their homes, and they would provide housing for people that were attending those meetings there, in their homes. And they would provide meals for them there. Jim Crow is still well and alive. It's just hidden. People still don't really realize that we're all human beings with the same feelings, that it takes hard work to make it. And I think that probably a lot of the fact is that when people look and they think about Jesus the Christ, they look at him as being a certain color. And so that color that has been put into their heads or into their minds, they feel like it gives them a upper, you know, that this is for us, it's not for you. But whenever we come to the realization that God created us all in his image, and it's just a difference. He wanted us to be different, but he wanted us to love. And so until we get to that point where we realize that as human beings, there's nothing different about us. We might not be as prosperous or whatever as the next fella. But whatever we have to learn to be grateful for that and not to really look down on anyone else because he doesn't have. In the last few Sunday school lessons, it has been teaching us about how we should help those who are not as doing as well, those who don't have, to not to just step down on them and think that, it's okay to do that. And so we really have to, it's a mindset for people. And that's what Jim Crow was, a mindset for people. When I think about the church in uh, Carolina where the 9 people were killed, it's hurting because I'm also a member of that same AME congregation. And to just know that a person could come in and sit and listen to teachings and prayer and still take lives like that. But it's just a mindset, and until we come to the realization of knowing that that's not what love is all about, love has no barrier. It doesn't have any color, and all of this hatred is a learned. It's really a learned thing, and until we can get to the point where we can teach our children to love one another, regardless of the color of our skins. You have some in your race that don't like you because of something that it's just we all have our own prejudices. So it's just something that we have to let go and, let God cut that part away. Because he said that's what his word is. It's like a two-edged sword. And it cuts going and it cuts coming, but we have to want it to be gone. Mm-hmm. And I think until we get to the point of really wanting everybody to feel like they're equal, regardless of their status, because status is not going to help us to get into heaven or anything. It's only what we do for Christ that's going to last.